And here's our chicks tonight. So we got an incubator full. We have 9 that's hatched, and I've got 1 that's getting ready to hatch here. So I'm gonna move some stuff around so you guys can see this. But we have Silkies now. That's our last Moran egg, and there's some of the Silkies. And if you can notice, their skin is black when they hatch, and that's just a characteristic of Silkies. They have black feet, black skin, a bluish looking beak, and the little cone on top of their head. That one is just so precious. That will probably be some kind of buff or gray colored one. But we've got 1 back here. The Silkies have just been slow this time to hatch. I don't know why, but it's very cold here tonight in Alabama, so it may be that it's something about the weather. The temp is holding in the incubator. It's 99.5. Humidity is 69%. Hey. Well, hey. So we've got all these babies. You're looking at Silkies right here. 1, 2, and then that's going to be my colored egg layers. That one's sound asleep. He hatched earlier. I thought maybe we could catch this one hatching. We've got some in the back. We've got pips everywhere. It's hard to pick up on this phone, guys. But anyways, that's what we've got. I know you wanted to see it. Jordan said, loving these live videos. Thank you. We hardly ever go live, but just with this, I thought it'd be easier just to do it and let y'all see it live instead of trying to do all the videos and edit it. Oh, yeah, so we can't walk yet. And you can tell the Silkies, they're just so furry. Just pure furry. All of mine are regular Silkies. They're not the smooth satin Silkies. So, hopefully we'll see that egg. And you'll see them lay down in there, and they'll just go to sleep. It's so sweet. Oh, it's so sweet. They just kind of shrink down, and then they'll all jump back up all at once. So hopefully you can see the Silky beside that Moran egg's pipped. So hopefully y'all will get to see this one come on out. He's wiggling. So precious. They are just darling. Most of my Silkies that have hatched are going to be dark. Most of my hens are black, so most of the baby chicks will be too. And I have a black rooster as well. I think every time I've jumped on today, guys, live, I've tried to get a chick hatching, and it's maybe I can catch it at the right time. The rest of it's, I'm watching that brown egg. The rest of them have decided to hatch off camera. Tara said, I love baby chicks. We're an all Silky flock except for 1 bantam mutt. The only bantams that I have ever had were, besides Silkies, were Cochin bantams. And the rooster was a frizzle. And every chick he ever had, frizzle must be dominant. Every chick was frizzled. And he was our favorite rooster. He was so little, he was just pitiful. But we called him George, but he ruled the flock. He ruled the roost. I mean, George ruled it all. So he was definitely our favorite. And I think I filmed George quite a bit, but George is no longer with us, but we still miss him. Now the Cochin Bantam hens, they were just precious. I love them too. They were not great layers, the 2 I had, but I think they were older when I got them. But we love those hens. I'm not against bantams at all, so I'm with you, Tara. I'm with them. I like them. There's nothing wrong with them, so not to me anyways. Tara said I want a frizzle. Well, if you were in my area, it wouldn't have been hard to find. I think we populated the area with frizzles. Everybody wanted one at the time. The husbands didn't want them and the wives did, so that was a good thing for a while. How far are you from Birmingham? Probably an hour. I would say an hour south of Birmingham. Roundabout, give or take, depending on 280 traffic. So if you're from Birmingham, you'll understand that. I love your content. Love to meet you. Well, thank you very much. We usually just camp out here. And we did get into trying to do like some homesteading community stuff. People had asked us for like classes and things like that, but we just never did go through with it. A lot of people around here have tried to do that, but it always just kind of fell through. And then you have to worry about, you know, location and things like that. So it just never really partook. But I've always been interested in that, and always, especially canning. I would love to do canning classes, but I can't show people how to can with a regular canner because I don't know how myself. I only use an electric canner. So that's a kind of a disadvantage. I've got multiple pressure cookers, but I can't use them because I have a glass stovetop. And I know people do on them, but I'm always scared that it'll mess it up. I've always heard not to do that. So, and in the house we moved into now, it's got a glass stovetop. I hope we can get a gas one in the not too far future. And I'm not crazy about the stovetop. It's like a double element, double burner or something. I was asking my husband in the next room, and I do not like that. And it's on one eye and the rest are regular, some kind of new whirlpool, something. I don't know. I'm just not gung-ho about it. So hopefully we can get a gas one and we can do regular pressure canning. Look at these babies. They are it's just a fluff ball. I've got these in front of it right now from where I was filming earlier because the dogs were brought in and we didn't want them jumping up on the counter here. This is the first time I've ever hatched chicks in the kitchen. So they're going to go to the brooder in a different room, in the basement actually, after they go out of here. So I purchased an induction burner on Amazon. I'm going to try canning with it this year. Got the canner that's compatible with it too. Good deal. Good. Yeah, as far as canning, I'm lost. I've always wanted the all-American canner. I've always wanted to try all that, but I got the Presto because I saw you could use it instead of the, you know, the Presto electric canner instead of the regular one on the glass stovetop. And my parents got that for me for my birthday years ago, and that's all I've used, and it's so foolproof. But I still would like to know the old-fashioned, you know, the regular way to can. Let me show you this little group back here. Guys, sometimes if you hatch, you'll notice your shells have, you know, or a little bit of blood in them. So that's normal. That's okay. As long as chicks look good. There it goes. Maybe it's hard to film when they all start hatching because it's hard to see. So there's a little Silkie walking up. You can see how black its beak is. If you've never had Silkies, their whole skin is completely black. They say their organs are actually black, the tissue. They're black through and through, and they must have 5 toes. Now, we had one hatch earlier that does not have 5. I'm trying to see. It's not this one, but it was one that looked just like it. It had the bronze with it. That one that just flopped over. They're supposed to have feathered legs, but that one does not have 5 toes. So if you want to breed these, and if you're, you know, selling chickens, no, you cannot have that. We're just wanting egg-laying chickens, and we just like the Silkie, so it's fine with us. But you really don't want to breed with that trait because it can pass along. We had that pop up in our flock, and we don't have that rooster anymore, so I thought it was all fine, but I think it just happens. Hey, I think it just happens because they're so purebred that it's just a genetic abnormality that will pop up. So breeders have to be very careful about that. You can't show those chickens. You can't, it's just not good. If you're hardcore into silkies, we just don't care. Yeah. They're pecking. I told y'all earlier, they will peck. They are mean. And they're trying to figure out what everything is, and they're just chickens. They peck. And if you see one just kind of fall over, they're asleep. He's still breathing. He's just tired. The other ones will get him up quick. Yeah. But I was going to try to do one last live for you guys tonight. I wish that chick would come on out. I don't know why I'm whispering. I just whisper when I'm up near these chicks. I don't want to rile them up. That one's going to be pretty. That one right there standing up. My children are loving these videos too. Good. Good. Kids love chicks. I had some for my birthday when I was 6 years old, and I've just loved them ever since. I got a couple of roosters, or a couple of hens and a rooster, and it was, back then they still dipped the chicks in dye. They were Easter colors. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but I just thought that was the prettiest little thing. And I loved them, and they had to relocate to a family member's house because my dad worked night shift and the rooster was screaming out in the yard. So during the morning, he couldn't stand that. So they had to fly the coop across the road and go to my grandmother's house. So my chicks arrive on the 30th. I'm so excited. What kind are you getting? I'm interested to see what everybody's getting this year. I know a lot of people want chicks. I wanted some Buff Orpingtons. That's one breed I've never had that I wanted. And me and my husband talked about getting some Leghorns this year. We've had Leghorns. We loved them. As far as egg production, there's really no chicken I don't like. The ones that I've had the worst trouble with were cream leg bars. Cream leg bars, just the ones we got from chick, and they were just not, they didn't make it. They survived, they were fine, but they didn't lay eggs. We had them for years, and they just did not. The rooster was gorgeous. The hens were okay. There was nothing wrong with them, but they would not lay, and I needed them for the blue eggs. So then we got the Americanas, and they're growing on me, but still Americanas are not my favorite. They're so flighty. They seem almost feral. They're scared of their own shadow. But these little olive acres and all, they'll withstand anything. They're just tough as nails. So are the Morans. The Morans are really just kind of the bully of the flock that we've got. So I've got no complaints, but we had to have the blue egg for all these colored egg layers. So that's how we got used to got into the Americanas. We were gonna try, what's the other blue egg layer? I can't think. There's one more blue egg layer around here, and we were going to try it, but didn't. I can't remember what it is. Usually cream leg bar and Americanas are two that you'll see. Black Australorps and Buff Orpingtons. Good. Australorps are so hardy. And 240 chickens on church community. I loved it. Now we live in a neighborhood, and I've purchased the limit allowed in my county. So, well, 240, you know what you're doing then. You're no stranger to chickens. I don't know what y'all call them. You're supposed to say Australorp, but we call them Australops down here. So I don't know if people say Australops or Australorps, but I know it's spelled Australorp, but we say Australops. That's like Dominique chickens. We call them Domineckers. I don't know what y'all do, but we've got our own terminology. Morans, this is French black copper Marin, but we call them Morans. I've been corrected about that. I don't know how many times on YouTube I just say Moran. I'm just over it. So I just say Moran. I'm just country. Okay, we've got a new chick back here. There we go. From here on out, it's going to be hard to film because it's so crowded in this little incubator. And I'm trying to see. That's a foot. Y'all are gonna block our view. The best rooster I ever had besides George the Frizzle was a Rhode Island Red. We called him Big Red. And he was the most docile rooster I've ever had. He was just a big old teddy bear. But they're known for being pretty aggressive. He was a good rooster. There's our little Moran. Somebody asked me earlier, they said, why did you hatch Silkies with the big chicks? It doesn't matter. Not at this point, it doesn't matter. You can hatch them together. You can identify them by the color of their feet and their size. So it's not a huge size issue. It's chicks. And I've had 4-month-old chicks together in a pen on legs off the ground that were Silkies and Wyandottes or whatever. Jordan said the meanest rooster I've ever had was a leghorn. I don't think we've never had a leghorn rooster. We had a silver lace Wyandotte that was just mean as a rattler. It was terrible, terrible. And I had a it's not a candy corn Polish, or maybe it is candy corn. It's the Polish that's orange and black and white all together. Beautiful, beautiful. I was going to breed those, and he was just awful. He was awful, awful. So, that didn't work out. So, they started getting the name Crockpot. So, it got bad. Brenda, mine hatched the other day. Every 30 minutes there was a new one. Yay! It's so exciting. I bet you watched it quite a bit. Watched them hatch. It's just, I can't get away from the incubator when it does. I just want to stand here and check on them. I'm just like dazed by it. That little, for anybody that's new, if you see